Hey cool people, today I'm Nick McLamp. No, I'm Nick, I'm a he, him, and I wanted to share with you all the combat formulas I've discovered, tested, and found in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, specifically for the HD 1.5 remix. Now as a quick disclaimer, some formulas I list may be different from what other sources say. For instance, I know the combo finisher critical bonus in the revised Ultimania is +6, but during testing, it came out to +4. So this video will list the in-game tested formulas over the outside sources, but I do encourage people to peer review me. You know, tell me I'm being a dumb idiot when I'm flat out wrong, because this is made in the pursuit of knowledge, so the more info that is brought to the fan base, the better. And big thank you to Aid1043 for double checking what formulas they could with the Ultimania, linked to their channel in the description. That all being said, strike the like button, and we'll go hand in hand into this video. We'll start with the basics, beginning with normal attacks. For example, Sora's thrust, his side swing, his downswing, mid-air uppercut, and mid-air overhead swing would all be considered basic attacks or normal melee attacks. Every attack in the game goes by this formula: character strength minus target defense equals X. The difference is then plugged into the damage formula, and its outcome is the damage we actually do. As an example, if Sora has 40 strength and hits a shadow with 27 defense, what will the difference be? If you have 40 and I take away 27, no, I'm kidding. I'll be doing the math here. The difference is 13. And when 13 is plugged into the damage formula, it becomes 20 damage dealt to the target. As a brief aside, enemy attacks also use the damage formula with one distinction. On Proud Mode, the final damage is multiplied by 2. Now then, what's the damage formula? Credit to a he run for this. The damage formula is... Alright, it's not as bad as it looks. What's actually important is we look at this table on the side. The difference of strength minus defense is the X column, and the damage we actually do after X is put through the formula is the damage column. Now, we won't always use this formula. Gravity, for instance, doesn't use it. And if the value is between 2 and 8, we don't use it. The damage will just be what it is. X value 2 is 2 damage, X value 3 is 3 damage, X value 4 is 4 damage, you get it. As an example, this is what the scenario of 40 strength Sora hitting a 27 defense shadow looks like mathematically. Still with me? Come on, this is only our second formula. Also, yes, this is my enemy HP pixel measurer, isn't it awful? I do have it broken down into some key parts, which you can see how to read on the side. On it, certain damages like 40 are easy to read, it's just 20 HP twice. But a number like 57, not so much, because it doesn't land cleanly on the measurer. The way we know a single hit is 57 damage is because it falls between 55 damage and 60 damage. We can't really hit a digit like 58 or 56 because of how the damage formula works. One strength lower puts us at 48 damage, one strength higher puts us at 68 damage, which will appear vastly different on our pixel measurer. Additionally, you'll see this version with pink. Each pink bar is 2 HP, but I don't use it a lot anyway because it's hard to read. Anyway, next up is critical hits, beginning with critical hit chance. Credit to Yami Squall on GameFAQs. The formula is WCR times 100 and parenthesis times ACR and parenthesis divided by 100 equals CP. Yes, they're all going to be this terrible. But I adjusted the formula to be simpler by just removing the 100s. ACR is the attack specific crit rate, WCR is the equipped weapon crit rate, and CP is crit probability. Let's say we use Slapshot with Oathkeeper. Slapshot has a 20% crit rate, aka ACR, and Oathkeeper has a ×2 crit rate, aka WCR, which means 20 times 2 is 40, so CP is 40%. We passed high school math, assumedly. As for the crit hit damage, that formula is this. The arrow there indicates I'm putting X through the damage formula because I'm not typing that shit out every time. AP is attack-specific power, ACB is attack-specific critical bonus, and WCB is the weapon-specific critical bonus. So, we can use our example of Oathkeeper and Slapshot again. Slapshot has a 0 for its attack power, AP, but has a +4 for its critical bonus, aka ACB, while Oathkeeper has a 0 for its weapon critical bonus, aka WCB. This means we do Sora's strength minus enemy defense +0 +4 +0 to get our new X value, and that goes into the damage formula. 40 strength Sora crit Slapshot's a 27 defense shadow, we get 13 +0 +4 +0, which equals 17, and once we put that through the damage formula, we get 40 damage. Now, you might have heard a 0 crit bonus Keyblade does no crit damage. And, one who knows nothing can understand nothing. But jokes aside, it's actually an easy mistake to make before learning the critical hit damage formula. I have also made this mistake, but as we can see, it is just one factor in a bigger formula. Recoil is essentially the win or lose outcome if we parry or block an opponent's attack. Credit to the KH Wiki for the formula, which is W plus 40 equals T. W being the weapon recoil value, and T being our total recoil value. T then has to beat the enemy's recoil value per attack to achieve a successful recoil. For example, the Metal Chocobo Keyblade has a recoil of 90, and all Pirate Heartless attacks have a recoil of 90 as well. So, if I deflect or block them, I have 90 plus 40, which equals 130, and I'll get a success over their attack and the chance to counterattack. But, if the T value is below an enemy's recoil value, we achieve the fail state. Jungle King has a recoil of 1, which does not exceed 90, and so we achieve the fail state. You get it? Size matters. Now what if our recoil value meets the enemy's recoil value? Well, the KH Wiki didn't specify, so I decided to test it. Search Ghosts have a recoil of 70 when they use their hand slam with their arms outstretched. So if I use the Kingdom Key with a 30 recoil, we'll add 40, giving us 70 recoil, and what happens is Sora succeeds. So for a success state, we either need to meet or beat the enemy's attack's recoil value. Now for the last of the basics, MP Recharge. Yes, it exists in Kingdom Hearts 1. Credit to Zanato, Aid1043, and the Silent Hero for their help, inadvertent or otherwise. The formula is this: parenthesis parenthesis V minus L, end parenthesis, plus 5, end parenthesis, times 0.2 times N equals C. Stay with me, it's simpler than it looks. V is the enemy's MP recovery value, L is Sora's level, N is the attack type, which is 3 for a normal hit, 6 for a combo finisher, and 24 for a counterattack, and C is the amount of recharge charge that recharges in the recharging charge bar. The charge bar is the little orange line along the MP bar, and it has a total of 30 ticks, which visually will cover 1 MP bar. And something worth noting, the recharge rate has a floor and a ceiling. In the HD 1.5 remix, 1 charge point per hit at the lower end, meaning we need 30 hits to recharge 1 charge bar, and 7 charge points per hit at the high end, meaning 4 hits will recharge a little over 1 charge bar. It's possible in KH1 on the PS2 and in the Japanese final mix, they had a ceiling of 9 charge points, but I haven't tested it and don't care. So ideally, you understand normal hits, the damage formula, critical rates, critical damage, recoil, and the MP recharge, which means we can move on to sliding into Sora's abilities. We have Sliding Dash, pun completely intended. It functions mathematically the same as a normal melee hit. S minus D equals X plugged into the damage formula. So while it may not do additional damage, it does help us get up close and personal faster, which I enjoy being as I'm bisexual. Next is Vortex and Aerial Sweep. These are our first instances of abilities that add strength to our formula. They add +2, which looks like this. Now you may notice I said adds to our strength to paraphrase, but I didn't format it that way. The thing is, for format consistency with crits, I opted to go for the bonuses outside of S minus D, but both versions have the same outcome. So if you prefer, put +2 next to the S, and then you can actually me in the comments. Now let's see it in action. The attack, not the comment. A 42 strength Sora aerial sweeps at a 27 defense air pirate. We get the difference of 15, +2 from aerial sweep equals 17, which comes out as 40 damage. Next is Slapshot, which is the same formula as a standard hit, but it also comes with our first instance of a crit. We already know its probability, so let's look at the damage. It's S minus D for the Zack standard fare, but if we crit, that looks like this. Combo Finisher. Now this is probably the most misunderstood attack in the game. You may have heard it's a flat ×2 to damage, but it's actually +4. The thing is, +4 looks like double damage in a lot of circumstances, and a rose by any other name would be mislabeled and therefore wrong. The proof is, if we're doing 2 damage a hit because we're exactly 2 strength above an enemy's defense, when we do a combo finisher, if it's doubled, it would come out to 4 damage. But it doesn't. It comes out to 6 damage, because 2 + 4 is 6. Moving on, if we crit, that +4 is brought into our crit formula, but we also get an additional +4. So if we attack a large body with the Wishing Star Keyblade, 42 strength minus 27 defense is 15, plus 4 plus 4 plus 2, which has a difference of 25, coming out to 160 damage out of its 300 HP. As for the other combo finishers, Stun Impact.
Right foot, let's stun.
Mathematically, it's the same as a regular combo finisher, just a flat plus 4, but also comes with, you guessed it, Stun. In our previous example, Stun Impact gives us a difference of 19, which is 57 damage and a tuckered out Titan. Blitz and Hurricane Blast add 6 instead of 4. Both have a 20% chance for a crit, and the crit formula looks like this. Same setup as before, the difference of 15, plus 6 plus 4 plus 2 equals 27, which becomes 227 damage. Gravity Break. No horny. This works the same as the gravity formula, which I know you're up in the air about, so I'll explain that later. Gravity Break is based off Sora's strength stat, and the formula looks like this. X in this case is the percent of damage we do converted to a decimal, E is the enemy's current HP, Y is the damage we do before resist, R is the enemy's resistance, and Z is the final damage outcome. I'll explain resistance formula later, but for now, Large Body has a times 0.8 resist to gravity, which means we'll do 80% of our intended damage. 80% of 300 is 240. Zawarudo. No wait. Zantetsuken is another gravity-esque finisher, but it ignores our strength and just does a flat 250% damage to an enemy's HP. This is why it one-shots enemies, because 250% damage will do well over an enemy's HP, unless their resist is times 0.4 or lower, which means it would do 40% of its intended damage. Ripple Drive has a formula that looks like this. So for example, if you have 10 MP, 10 times 3 is 30, plus 10 more equals 40, minus the enemy's defense, like, I don't know, a large body with 27 defense. Yes, I am bullying this rotund ragamuffin. 40 minus 27 is a difference of 13, which is 20 damage, as we know. Sounds pathetic, but at just 15 MP, the damage comes out to 270 damage. So more MP is better. And now for something completely different. You know me alike if you got that reference. Counterattack. Its formula is just the crit formula with a plus 4 in ACB. The revised Ultimania says plus 2 ACB, but in this next example, that would equal 57 damage, and that's just not the outcome. Let's say we counterattack a Power Wild with Olympia at 42 strength, minus Power Wild's 27 defense. We get 15 plus 0 plus 4 plus 2, which is 21, which does 80 damage. Hopefully now you understand Sliding Dash, Vortex and Aerial Sweep, Slapshot, Combo Finishers, Stun Impact, Blitz and Hurricane Blast, Gravity Break, Zantetsuken, Ripple Drive, and Counterattack. So now we'll move on to Sonic Blade. Unfortunately, not a Hedgehog Vampire Hunter. This attack does the critical damage formula. Sonic and Rave have an AP of plus 6, and Blast has an AP of plus 10. High large body, time to blast through you with Sonic Speed! Sora with 30 strength, minus 27 defense of a large body, makes a difference of 3, plus 6 per Sonic and Rave, and the Kingdom Key has a plus 0 for its weapon crit bonus, which is 3 plus 6 plus 0 equals 9. An X value of 9 does 10 damage per hit, then the Blast will be X value of 3 plus 10 plus 0 equaling 13, which does 20 damage. If you didn't get that, it's alright. Basically, we'll do 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 20, which is 80 damage in total. And obviously it'll be higher damage if we have more strength. Next up is Strike Raid. Here's something interesting. He unlocks the ability from beating Leon in the Pegasus Cup, and when he first meets Leon is when he finds out the Keyblade will always return to his hand. So he may have inadvertently learned Strike Raid from Leon. Only took me 20 whatever years to put those pieces together. Strike Raid crits on every attack, just like Sonic Blade, and its AP for Strike and Raid is plus 10, while Judgment is plus 12. Same example as before. X value of 3 plus 10 plus 0 equals 13, so that's 20 damage 4 times, which is 80. Then for Judgment, Sora will Tisket you. X value of 3 plus 12 plus 0 equals 15, which executes 28 damage at 108 damage total. Our Arcanum does more things. It does normal attack damage on most hits, with always crits on specific hits. Arcanum hit 7 has plus 10 in AP, Bash hit 5 does plus 6, and Finish also does plus 10. Something to note, our large body friend takes a minimum of 10 damage. So for this, we have to adjust our strength to 36 to see our Arcanum in action. 6 hits of 10 damage is 60, Arcanum hit 7 does the difference of 9, then we add 10 plus 0, which is 19, X value 19 is 57 damage, and 60 plus 57 is 117. Bash does 10 damage 4 times, which is 40, with Bash hit 5 doing the difference of 9 plus 6 plus 0 equaling 15, which is 28 damage, 40 plus 28 is 68, and 117 plus 68 is 185. And then Finish is the difference of 9 plus 10 plus 0, which is 57, and 185 plus 57 is 242. Ragnarok, on the other hand, its first 4 attacks are standard, and its 5th is a crit with a plus 8 to AP. Then the lasers do, parenthesis, M times 2, and parenthesis, plus 20 minus D equals X, put through the damage formula equals final damage. Alright, that's enough. So again, X value of 3 damage 4 times is 12 damage, then on the 5th hit, 3 plus 8 plus 0 is X value of 11, 11 becomes 14 in the damage formula, so our melees will do 12 plus 14 for a total of 26 damage. Then our lasers, let's say we have 10 MP, this comes out to 20 damage per laser against the large body. Now how many lasers we do depends on how long we wait to press the impact prompt. I used Pinkagarigus to test it, and an immediate press was about 10 to 12 shots. While a 1 second-ish pause was about 16 to 18 shots. Weirdly, a longer pause didn't add any additional shots. So let's say we do 17 lasers. 17 times 20 damage is 340 damage, plus 26 from the melees gives us 366 damage. Which, for frame of reference, if we did 366 damage to a boss, that'd be over a health bar of damage. Last but not least, Trinity Limit. It functions like Zantetsuken and Gravity Break, except it has percent of 600. This is far and away the strongest attack in the game, and we only need 3 max MP to cast it. For instance, if we use this on, I don't know, the Archbehemoth in End of the World, even at 9 MP, we'd take their full HP, which is halfway along the pink bar, 1050 HP, down to just a little above the green bar. That's 373 HP. That means we did 677 damage in one attack. I know Trinity Limit has been enlightening, haha, but now I'll make like the genie and illuminate the... Special thanks to my buddy Alex, PhD and math teacher, who helped me figure out where the resistance goes in all these formulas, and to MimiNyan777, who inspired me to figure all these out. Starting with the resistance formula. Y times R equals Z. Y is the damage outcome from the damage formula, R is the enemy resistance, and Z is our final damage. Using fire as our example, most standard enemies have a ×1 resist to fire, but bosses and special enemies like Gigas Shadow, tend to have ×0.49 resist, meaning our fire does 49% of its intended damage. Now here's an important thing. If resist is below ×1, we round the damage down. So if we did 20 damage with fire against an enemy with 0.49 resist, we get 9.8 damage, so it rounds down to 9. If resist is equal to ×1, we round it conventionally. And if resist is above ×1, I'm not super sure, it's really, really rare, but it does seem to round down, or likely conventionally as well. Let's feel the heat. Fire, Fire-Ra, and Fire-Raga have a formula that looks like this. As a reminder, M is Sora's current max MP, and N is a specific Ultimania number. 20 for Fire, 28 for Fire-Ra, and 36 for Fire-Raga. If we have 17 MP and we cast Fire-Raga on a large body with 27 defense, we'll do 17 plus 36 equaling 53 minus 27, which is a difference of 26. And 26 put through the damage formula equals Y. Y in this case is 190 damage. And that 190 is then multiplied by the large body's fire resist of 1. And so we know our damage will be 190. Blizzard, Blizzara, and Blizzaga is formula-wise the exact same as fire. Just N is equal to 22 for Blizzard, 27 for Blizzara, and 34 for Blizzaga. With Sora at 17 MP, we can cast Blizzaga against a large body. That's 17 plus 34 equals 51, minus 27 is X value of 24, which comes out to 135 damage. 135 is then put in the resist formula, and the large body has ×1 resist, so we know our final damage is also 135. Since we've cooled things off a bit, let me mention this formula from 2C Phoenix's Wonderland video. Very good video, by the way. The thing is, his formula is not wrong, because when no formulas are listed in any official way, then technically the correct formula is just the one that gets us the right answers. That being said, 2C Phoenix's formula is just as accurate as mine, so it's really up to you, which one you'd rather use, the Phoenix formulas or the Mixed Titan formulas. I know that's a little shocking, but let's stay positive as we talk about Thunder, Thundara, and Thundaga. Same formula as Fire and Blizzard actually, except MP is multiplied by 2. And of course, N is different, N for Thunder is 16, Thundara is 20, and Thundaga is 26. Real fast, I'll give an example of Thunder in action. Large body, hello again.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
I have 10 MP in Thundara against the 27 defense large body. 10 times 2 is 20, plus 20 is 40, minus 27, which is a difference of 13, meaning we do 20 damage, and thankfully, because the large body has ×1 resist, that means we stay at 20 damage. Let's keep it breezy with Aurora and Aroga. Actually, they have the same damage formula as Thunder, just that the N value is always 8. So, it doesn't do more damage than chip damage fairly quickly in the late game, but they're still useful for other reasons, like half damage and Aroga's attack deflection. As for the Arrow, Aurora, and Aroga duration, it's M plus 18 equals duration in seconds. At 10 MP, it'll be around for 28 seconds. Speaking of duration, not sexually, Stop, Stopper, and Stopka are M plus 2 equals Y. Y is plugged into the resist to equal Z seconds. Oh. Here's our example. At 17 MP against the large body, we will see 17 plus 2 equals 19. Then 19 will be multiplied by the large body's resist of 0.6. 19 times 0.6 equals 11.4 seconds. And stop durations, unlike magic damage, does not round. Next we have Gravity, Gravira, Graviga have a formula that looks like this. And in this case is 40 for Gravity, 55 for Gravira, and 70 for Graviga. So, something I didn't mention with Gravity Break and Zented Zugan and Trinity Limit is that percent-based attacks completely ignore damage caps, but we shouldn't let that weigh us down. It's the reason we can one-shot just about any standard enemy regardless of its cap with those attacks. Since percent damage doesn't use that formula, much like a honey badger, it really doesn't give a shit. You can see this in action during the Archbehemoth fights, when its damage cap for melee is 20, but repeated gravity casts quickly take down huge chunks of its HP. Now for our last spell, Cure, Cura, and Curaga if you're nasty. Its formula is just M plus N equals H. H being the amount of HP recovered, and N being 15, 27, or 36 respectively. For instance, at 8 MP, it's 8 plus 36 with Curaga, which equals 44 healed HP. And if we have an initial HP of 35 plus 44 healed HP, we now have a new HP of 79. Just a little side note, Donald and all other party members that can cast magic all follow these formulas as well. Thunder Potion for Ariel, Peter Pan's Wind and Stop, Tarzan's Wet Leaf, you get it. So I hope you're having a magical time. Subscribe to support my waning financial situation, and we'll transition over to... Credit to the KH wikis for these numbers. So a summon's duration bar is equivalent to Sora's current max MP, cheer notwithstanding, so don't celebrate yet. If we have 9 MP, which brings the bar directly below Sora's face, a summon will have an equivalent amount of their summon charge bar, which I will be referring to as MP. I know it'll get a little confusing, but just know I'm referring to the orange bar when talking about summons. Starting with Simba, the bellowing fellow with fur that is yellow, has a decay rate of 1 MP per 8.3 seconds. Meaning at 9 MP, he will exist for 9 times 8.3 seconds, or 74.7 seconds, which is just under a minute 15 seconds. Simba's attack, Proud Roar, costs 2 MP per cast, meaning each cast decays his charge bar by 16.6 seconds. So if he stays for 74.7 seconds and we cast Proud Roar twice, he would lose 33.2 seconds, leaving 41.5 seconds remaining. Also, the charge up of the attack is not included in the 33.2 seconds lost. Proud Roar itself has 5 tiers. Tier 1 is available at 2 MP, Tier 2 is available at 4 MP, Tier 3 at 6, Tier 4 at 8, and Tier 5 at 10. Any additional MP does not increase these tiers after that. These tiers don't fall. You owe me a like if you said they crash around me, you emo bitch. As for the damage, that looks like this. And in this case, it's 26 for Tier 1, 28 for Tier 2, 30 for 3, 32 for 4, and you guessed it, 300 for Tier 5. No, actually, basically it becomes a gravity cast, and any enemy with a resist above 0.3 at 10 MP will not survive this attack. For Tier 1 at 10 MP will be 10 times 2, which is 20, plus 26, equaling 46, minus 27 defense from a large body, which is a difference of 19. 19 put through the damage formula is 57. For Tier 2, 10 times 2 is 20, 20 plus 28 is 48, 48 minus 27 is 21, and 21 in the damage formula is 80. Tier 3, 10 times 2 is 20, 20 plus 30 is 50, 50 minus 27 is 23, and 23 becomes 113 damage when put through the damage formula. For Tier 4, 10 times 2 is 20, 20 plus 32 is 52, 52 minus 27 is 25, and when we put that through the damage formula, we get 160. Now, as for Tier 5, as a reminder, it's basically a super gravity cast, so not too many enemies will survive, which is why I did it against Archbehemoth. Here's how that goes. 10 MP times 5 is 50, 50 plus 300% is 350%, 350% times 0.01 is 3.5, 3.5 times the behemoth's HP of 1050 is 3,675, 3,675 times the Archbehemoth's resist of 0.1 comes out to 367.5 damage, which is rounded down to 367 damage. Also, tiers 3 and 4 add a stun. Genie has the same decay rate as Simba, 1 summon MP per 8.3 seconds, and his Showtime attack also costs him 16.6 seconds. Showtime's damage has multiple formulas. Thunder is the same as Sora's thunder. Stop doesn't have a formula in Final Mix, it just lasts for 5 seconds no matter what. Gravity is the same formula, but reduced to plus 20 instead of plus 40. Then stun shot, blow away shot, and continuous hit shot, everybody, are the same as the thunder formula, just lacking resistance. So to test Genie, I had to bump up our MP a little bit, because otherwise it would do too low damage and we wouldn't be able to read it due to large body's low cap of 10. So we'll start at 14 MP with stun shot. Stun shot is yellow, and here's what happens at 14 MP. 14 times 2 is 28, plus 14 is 42, minus 27 is 15, which, when put through the damage formula, comes out to 28 damage. Blow-away shot is red, and at 14 MP we see 14 times 2 equaling 28, 28 plus 18 is 46, 46 minus 27 is 19, and 19 becomes 57 in the damage formula. Lastly, continuous hit shot is blue and does 5 hits in a row. 14 times 2, 28, plus 10 is 38, minus 27 is the difference of 11. 11 put through the damage formula is 14. As for Mushu, which I know is a little out of order, but he falls in the same camp as Simba and Genie, with a decay rate of 1 MP per 8.3 seconds. But Fire Breath, or Flare Breath if you're into that sort of thing, is a little different. Based on my in-game tests, if held for the entire duration, Mushu's decay rate seems to quintuple, whereas the Ultimania says it triples, but I'm gonna stick with the quintuple, call it a hot take I guess. As for Fire Breath's damage, it's the same as continuous shot, aka plus 10, but it's also plugged into the resistance formula, since it's a fire-based attack. So, our example will be at 14 MP like Genie. 14 times 2 is 28, 28 plus 10 is 38, minus the large body's 27 defense, comes out to the difference of 11. 11 plugged into the damage formula becomes 14, and a large body has a ×1 resist to fire, so our damage stays at 14. Now, tapping triangle does 3 shots, so I tapped it 5 times to do a total of 15 shots, and we can see that does 210 damage. $210 damage divided by 15 shots does indeed equal 14 damage per shot. Let's move on to Dumbo. His decay rate is 1 MP per 5 seconds, so 9 MP times 5 seconds is 45 seconds, and holding splash down triples that decay rate, making him last 15 seconds, 4 seconds longer than my personal best. Dumbo's splash damage is the same as Genie's stun shot, doing plus 14. 14 times 2 is 28, plus 14 is 42, minus 27 is 15, when put through the damage formula, comes out to 28 damage. Also, we put it through the resist formula since Splash does blizzard damage. We can see the damage Dumbo did is 140, and when we tap Splash, Dumbo will do 5 hits, so 140 divided by 5 is 28 damage like the math says. And as for Bambi, he has the same decay rate as Dumbo, 1 MP per 5 seconds, and his ability Paradise has no formula, it's just drop rates, so he can f*** off. Last but not least, Tinkerbell. She's very different. She has no decay rate, only despawns when reviving Sora after he's defeated, or, if you tell her to, like the little sub she is. And her recovery rate is just Sora's max MP turned into a cure amount every 1.7 seconds. So if you have 17 MP, the party gets healed for 17 HP every 1.7 seconds, healing everybody once every 5.1 seconds. Now that we've heeded the call on summons, haha, we'll switch to Jingle, jingle, jingle. I forgot it through the keys. All right, we're nearing the end. Don't fade on me now. We'll start with Berserk, guts not included, has the formula S minus D plus 4, and that stacks with normal attacks, a combo finisher, slapshot, crits, sliding dash, sonic blade, hurricane blast, Ars Arcanum, counterattack, stun impact, Ragnarok's melee attacks but not the lasers, vortex and aerial sweep, but it does not stack with magic or ripple drive of what I was able to test. So I would guess it works on strength-based attacks only. Yoo-hoo, large body!
And then he came in and he boogity boogity boo!
With 27 defense against the Wishing Star Keyblade, we crit, have Berserk on, and if our strength stat is 40, it will look like 40 minus 27 equals 13 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. 8 plus 6 is 14. 13 plus 14 is 27. And that 27 goes into the damage formula, which means we do 227 damage out of its 300 HP. Next is Critical Plus. It looks like some shit I just made up on the fly. CP times parenthesis 1 plus n parenthesis equals new CP. N being the amount of Critical Plus abilities equipped. But to put it in layman's terms, 1 Critical Plus is CP times 2, 2 equipped is CP times 3, and 3 equipped is CP times 4. According to the revised Ultimania, shout out to Elbow Juice for providing that months back, Combo Finisher, Blitz, Hurricane Blast, and Slapshot are all 20% CP. So, with Oathkeeper that has times 2 crit rate, that'd be a new CP of 80%, 120%, or 160% for each of those attacks, depending on how many critical pluses we have equipped. Lucky Strike, credit to the KH Wiki. The formula is 1 plus parenthesis n times 0.5 n parenthesis. Then I put a larger parenthesis around that and multiply it by I. I being an item drop rate, and n being the number of Lucky Strikes equipped in the active party. Now, active party is a weird phrase because my party is dead most of the time. No, it's weird because are they considered active during summons? Well, I tested it. What I did was use summons while fighting Sniper Wild, then with only Donald and Goofy having Lucky Strikes equipped, I'd defeat the 12th Sniper Wild, then soft reset to ensure I had new RNG. Why the 12th Sniper Wild? Well, for beating the 12th Sniper Wild, there's a base 50% drop rate for a Power Stone, but with 2 Lucky Strikes, it goes up to 100%. So I did that 10 times, and it dropped every single time. So that means either Lucky Strike works with summons, or I'm luckier than a furry cosplayer at Anthrocon. Bound chicka wow wow. Jackpot actually uses the exact same formula as Lucky Strike, but instead of focusing on item drops, it focuses on HP and MP balls, as well as money. We can see this perfectly with Bambi. Here's how much MP he drops without any jackpots on, versus how much he drops with all 3 jackpots on. Treasure Magnet. I could make up a formula for this, but it's not really necessary. No treasure magnets equipped is basically the distance of Sora's feet. 1 treasure magnet equipped is double that, and 2 treasure magnets equipped is quadruple. As you can see by this nifty chart, that looks like Xigbar found Sora too early. Cheer! Grab some Ugg boots because this one is real basic. M plus N equals new summon duration bar. N is the amount of cheers equipped. If you have 9 MP, but all 3 cheers, our summon will have the duration of 12 MP instead of 9. Oh, let me just take this moment to say accessories and keyblades that have text like improves magic and summons. That's just flavor text. We only actually have to worry about the maximum MP Sora has. MP Rage. I made a formula for this one, but again, ultimately pointless. It also technically doesn't work if n equals 0, but shut up and don't worry about that. 1 MP Rage gives us 1 charge bar per 30 damage. 2 MP Rages gives us 1 charge bar per 15 damage. And again, 1 charge bar is visually equivalent to 1 MP. Now keep in mind, MP Rage works in gross, not net, so healing won't affect our MP recovery, and it functions the same on Proud Mode, even with double damage, so in a lot of circumstances makes it twice as effective. MP Haste. This has the exact same formula as MP Recharge, except the plus 5 from before becomes plus 15. Hang on. Okay, so the Ultimania says it's plus 15, but in the HD 1.5 remix, it's actually plus 12. If MP Haste gives plus 15 at level 55 while normal attacking a bandit that has a V value of 47, should do 4 ticks per hit. Meaning we get a little over 1 charge bar and 8 hits. But what we actually see is that it does 2 ticks per hit. meaning we get 1 charge bar and 15 hits, which is the outcome if MP Haste actually does plus 12. Anyway, since that's out of the way, you want to know about combo finishers and counterattacks? Too bad, I'm not doing that. What do you think this is, some sort of math video? You can show your own work down in the comments. Tech boosts. We've seen this formula before. Tech points, aka TP, times parenthesis, n plus 1, n parenthesis, equals new tech points, which is basically times 2 at 1 tech boost, times 3 at 2 tech boosts, times 4 at 3, and times 5 at 4. So, if a Power Wild Scratch gives 18 tech points, then that's 36, 54, 72, and 90 per each tech boost equipped. Now, for our ally attacks specifically. Goofy Charge works the same as a combo finisher, just a base of plus 4. Goofy at 36 strength, using Goofy Charge on a 27 defense large body, will yield 9 plus 4, which makes X equal 13, which does 20 damage when put through the damage formula. Goofy Tornado, this is our first instance of minus, and in this case, minus 10. Basically, they just didn't want Goofy to be too overpowered with his multi-attack, which is something that did not carry over to KH2. Let's say Goofy has 46 strength against 27 defense. That's a difference of 19, minus 10, which comes out to 9, meaning Goofy will do 10 damage per tornado hit. And at 11 hits, that does a total of 110 damage. Goofy Rocket, Tarzan's Raging Boar, Tarzan's Asp Spite, Aladdin's Sandstorm, and Jack Skellington's Applause all share a formula with plus 8. Using ee-oo-ah as our example, let's say Tarzan has 41 strength and he whacks a Power Wild at 27 defense. 41 minus 27 is 14, plus 8 is 22, which does 95 damage when put through the damage formula. Aladdin's Crescent and Beast's Furious Bellow have plus 12. In the case of Beast fighting a large body, if Beast has 43 strength, minus 27 defense, it's 16 plus 12, which becomes 28, and through the damage formula, that becomes 270 damage out of its 300 HP. Ariel's Spiral Wave, aka having lots of finny fun, actually just does the same damage as a normal hit. So if Ariel is at 36 strength against a 27 defense sheltering zone, that's a difference of 9, doing 10 damage per hit, and at most she'll do 15 hits, and that ends up being 150 damage out of its 240 HP. Peter Pan's Hummingbird. This is our second instance of a minus attack power, with S minus D minus 5. So let's say Peter Pan has 41 strength, minus a jet balloon's 27 defense, that's 14 minus 5, equals 9, which comes out to 10 damage per hit, and at 11 hits, that does 110 damage out of jet balloon's 240 HP. Beast's Ferocious Lunge is the strongest attack of all the party member attacks, with plus 16 to AP. To put that into perspective, if Beast has at least 40 strength against any standard enemy, he will hit the damage ceiling of 300 with this attack. Now, you might not always see that because of damage caps, but mathematically, it is what's happening. And for our final formula, Second Wind. Second Wind has a simple formula. Party member KO time divided by 2 equals revival time. And it recovers party members to full HP. Donald, when knocked unconscious, makes me happy. No, he revives in 80 seconds. Goofy in 60 seconds, both without Second Wind. And when they both get Second Wind, it knocks their KOT down to 40 and 30 seconds respectively. As for our other party members, Tarzan and Ariel revive in 60 seconds. Aladdin, Jack, Peter, and Beast revive in 44 seconds, but Tarzan, Ariel, and Beast are the only world-specific party members who have access to Second Wind, which cuts their KOT down to 30, 30, and 22 seconds, respectively. And as an additional note, if we leave combat, the remaining revive time is then divided by 8, both with and without second wind. As an example, Donald was unconscious here for approximately 25 seconds before I left combat. 80 minus 25 is 55, and 55 divided by 8 is 6.875, which is almost exactly how long it took Donald to revive. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look into the formulas. I didn't dive to the heart of the enemy formulas, wanted to keep this simple and clean, but maybe I'll have the passion for that in another video. Like and subscribe to support me, and goodbye!